Shine with Kendell Lenice. Real talk for real people. Let's shine together.
All right, welcome to Shine with Kendell Lenice. I am your host, Kendell Lenice. Allow me to introduce myself to you just a little bit further. I am a certified transformational life coach, speaker, and author, as well as a certified meditation practitioner and content creator. I'm so glad that you decided to join me on my life podcast. On this podcast, I will educate, elevate, and entertain you with various topics. We will do live coaching, and I will hopefully give you a different perspective on some of your favorite topics and introduce you to new ones. I'm not sure how you stumbled upon this podcast. I'm just so glad you did. Before we get started, do me a favor and subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening and rate if you are able to. Thank you so much once again for tuning in, and now on to this week's show. Today's show is sponsored by 617 Lip Love, Organic Lip Moisturizer Balm by Lenice. Get yours today at leniceboutique.com. This product is for men and women, and its signature flavor, eucalyptus mint. It's the bomb, y'all. Get it today at leniceboutique.com. Protect your lips, heal your lips at all costs. 617 Lip Love Organic Lip Moisturizer Balm. Get yours today at leniceboutique.com. Support Black businesses. Support women-owned businesses. leniceboutique.com. Hey y'all, it's Kendell Lenice, and welcome to Shine with me, Kendell Lenice. I'm so glad that you're with me once again. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting this life podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm not sure how you got here, but I am so glad you did. So don't be selfish. Don't be stingy. Tell your friends and family about Shine with Kendell Lenice. Also, please do me a favor and subscribe to this podcast, as well as rate and leave a comment. We are on all podcast platforms. When I say we, I mean you and I. We are doing the darn thing. For those that don't know, as I stated earlier, I'm a transformational life coach and speaker, and I'm also famous on TikTok. I'm just joking, but I went viral, so I'm moving on up on TikTok. So shout out to all my supporters over at TikTok, as well as Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and so on and so on and so on. My main and in this podcast, of course, I can't forget that. But thank you for continuously supporting your girl. It means the absolute world to me. Before we get started, as always, I'm going to start with this week's life note. All right, it's time for this week's life note. All right, I'm not sure what I just did, but that's all right. Don't be afraid to fall on your face. If anything, you'll crack your face. But you'll still be alive. That's this week's life note. No joke. But today we're talking about falling on your face. And sometimes that's what you have to do in order to achieve whatever you want to achieve in life. But this week's life note is don't be afraid to try. Nothing beats a failure but a try. That's this week's life note. All right. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, the life note is obviously a quote or a saying that will carry you through this show and beyond. It's not just, okay, this is the show and this is the quote and I can take it for this, but hopefully you'll take this throughout your life when you are thinking about doing something differently or doing something for the first time. Excuse me. This is a live podcast. All right. So don't be afraid to fall on your face is what we're going to be talking about today. Oftentimes people don't try something new or experience something new because they're afraid that it just might not work out for them. So they allow the fear to stop them from living and participating in their own lives. Well, as a life coach, I don't go for that. As a woman, I don't go for that. And I don't suggest you do either. Now, I'm so proud of a lot of people, during this time, because during quarantine and COVID, so many folks are just jumping out there and doing their thing. I'm not sure if because we're in a pandemic and people are watching people pass away. I'm just going to keep it real. People are watching people sick and ill. People are watching people become other people during this time. So now is a time people want to start living, it seems, living again. And I love that. But there's still a lot of people who are afraid to live because they don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to have someone say, I told you so. And that's the first thing, y'all. If you have dream killers around you, the dream killers gots to go. What do I mean by that? Obvious. They gotta go, meaning they can't be a part of your new experiences or your future. And I'm not saying that you have to kick them to the curb and you can no longer be friends or family members with them, but you can't own and take what they say as your own, because sometimes people who are afraid will make you afraid. People who are not willing to participate in their own lives put that on you. So sometimes people are dream killers on purpose, and sometimes they are dream killers out of fear for their own lives. So they kind of put that on you. So it's so important to watch who you have around you, and you don't always have to share everything with everybody if you want to do something. So whether it's you want to go back to school, go back to school. I hear people talking as a life coach, some of my clients and the people who follow me, I always encourage everyone to go back to school. I did it as an adult and got a college degree at 41 and then another at 47, and some people are fearful that they might fall on their face, or they won't be as smart as they were, or they don't have what it takes anymore. Or they don't want to sit in a classroom. They don't want to do online learning or now virtual learning. They don't want to do that because they're afraid. So these people want to go back to school, but they don't go back to school because they're afraid to fail. And I don't believe in that word. Yes, it is a word. Yes, it is a real thing for a lot of people, but I don't believe in that. If you try and give your all and you have the experience under your belt and it might not work as you might have hoped and prayed, then that's fine. That's not a failure. That was a growth period. And that's what people have to really understand. So taking the go back to school situation, if you want to go back to school and you think that you're not disciplined enough to be home virtually learning now because of COVID, you want to be in a classroom, but you can't. You never wanted to do online learning. Now everything is virtual. You're not sure if you have the mind span or width to even consume and remember all the information that's going to be taught. So you're already failing, quote unquote, before you even start. If you fall on your face and you don't do well on your first class, yes, you might waste some money. Yes, you might waste some time, but you can't think that you won't learn anything, even if you don't necessarily pass the class. Now, I'm not saying go in and don't do your best, and if you fail, you don't pass, then oh well. No, all you can do is your best. But how do you do your best if you don't even try? And that's the thing I'm talking about, is trying at least to see, hey, I might be able to go on and do that thing, but I got to try. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because you always learn from your mistakes. Hopefully you do. And that's a conscious thing. You have to be able to learn from your mistakes consciously, not just allow things to happen and say, I didn't learn anything. That's because you weren't willing and open to learn. So I was reading nationalnews.com, and they were talking about don't be afraid to make mistakes. You'll learn from them, just like I said. And I'm just going to read a couple of things from them. They're talking about new businesses, which I'll go into. And that's mainly what they're talking about. So I'm going to talk about that after this quick break. Thank you for shining with me, Kendell Lenice. If you're here for the very first time, thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to the show and don't forget to tell your friends and family about Shine. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Everyone has a story, and I wanted to read someone's story on here. They're talking about launching a business. And this was written in 2014 in the nationalnews.com on that site. So it says, during the past few years of building my career and business, I have made a few mistakes. These are often minor issues such as introducing two people, using the wrong names, forgetting to double check the presentation before it went up to the screen, or not finding out the client's full requirements before pitching a marketing idea to them. When you first launch a business or first enter the workforce, screwing up is a given, it says. No one expects you to get it right on the first time. Even the chief executive of your company made mistakes along the way, which is why I plan to share a personal experience and show you how to emerge from confidently making a mistake of your own. Okay, so this is his experience. 4 years ago, when I first started my small fashion line, this is, I don't know if this is a woman or a man. The name is Manar. So it could be, I'm going to read further to see. But 4 years ago, when I first started my small fashion business line, a multi-brand boutique opened in town. It was exactly the kind of place I wanted to carry my line. Their consignment agreement was quite different to other stores that already sold my clothing. I did not bother to find out what this new boutique expected from me. I sent them a proposal the way I had written it for other stores, assuming it was a great way to get in. So how do you think that made me look? Like someone who did not care enough to find out their requirements? My proposal was turned down, of course. I was left embarrassed, sad to have cut ties with a company I was looking forward to working with. It was a big lesson for me in paying more attention to detail before submitting a proposal. We all make mistakes, and while it is comforting to know that you are not alone, here are a few tips on how to rebuild confidence after messing up. So what she or he is saying is, and people have done this, if you're going to apply for a job, right, and you're applying for 10 jobs that day, you might send the same cover sheet and forget to realize that you didn't change the name or you didn't tailor it to the person you were going to tailor it to. So then you don't get the job, you don't get the call, and you feel like you made that mistake. So now you're over paranoid and you're looking. Just look at it as a lesson learned. And that's what this person is saying. She says, first, do not be hard on yourself, whether you feel upset, angry, embarrassed, or annoyed. Acknowledge the feelings you are experiencing, then leave it at that. Totally agree. Forgive yourself for messing up. You are only human. No one expects you to be perfect. When your friends make mistakes, you often console them by saying that don't be too hard on yourself. Treat yourself the same way. Totally agree. I often say that. Consider your error from a more positive angle. Mistakes can teach us valuable lessons. Look at the situation as a learning experience and find out how you could better yourself and avoid similar situations in the future. Absolutely. As I was saying, it's about growth and it's about learning. And sometimes you have to learn the hard lesson. You have to fall on your face to learn that lesson. It goes on to say, discard any factors that allow you to mess up. Are there certain colleagues or situations that contribute to your mistake in making ritual? Perhaps it is a person who keeps giving you the wrong advice, or factor in your business that you're not afraid to allow to grow. Take the time to evaluate and then address it. Last, she says, but not least, practice makes perfect. I say practice makes progress. Whether it is rehearsing a speech over and over again until you master it, or mastering a new software program, or do whatever it's needed to help your confidence grow. It can be hard to regain confidence after taking a professional knock. Nevertheless, keep in mind that everyone, including the people you feel you embarrass yourself in front of, have all made mistakes. maybe even worse than yours. The important thing is to learn from those errors and pick yourself up, ready to tackle the world once more. Absolutely. And that is by Manar Al-Haine. Anyway, it's on the nationalnews.com. But I wanted just to put that in there as far as business. We talked about going back to school, and now that's in business. So when we talk about business, as even this article stated, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to, I don't like to say fail, but you're going to not meet the mark. And that's okay, as long as you learn and grow from that. So let's transition into entrepreneurship. I talked a little bit about it earlier during the pandemic. A lot of people, a lot of creative people, or people that didn't even know that they were creative, have started businesses. And some of the businesses are thriving. They're booming. But all ideas are not the greatest ideas, right? So some try different businesses and they might not have worked out. But the entrepreneurial spirit hits you when it does. And if you're a creative person, you are going to create. Even my organic lip balm moisturizer. It's the bomb, y'all. But I started that during the pandemic for my 49th birthday, which was last June. I wanted to put that out, and I created that. And I also upped my YouTube page and did some things as an entrepreneur. And my mind is constantly going and constantly creating as a content creator. So I'm constantly creating and doing things. And oftentimes people are like, you're just not afraid to just jump out there. I'm not. Because if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not about wasting money, time, or energy, because how are you going to know, if you don't try? And that's the thing. Don't worry about what anybody says, if they're, supportive or not. You just got to do your thing. I've always been that person. And just because you may or may not be that person, it doesn't mean that you can't. Don't be afraid to try different things, because a lot of the things that you try just might work. But if you never try because you're fearful of falling on your face and people, ha ha ha, like the, cartoons, they're laughing at you as you're on the ground, forget those people. Do you. And if you focus on doing you and being the best that you can be across the board, that's all that matters. There are a lot of artists that want to create art for money, but they're not. Do it because you're afraid that somebody might not like it. There are a lot of people who know how to do hair, and they're not going past their front porch, so to speak, because they're afraid to put themselves out there. Put yourself out there. If you know how to build a room and you know how to put that square off that house, and I don't know the terms, do that. Start telling people, hey, I'm creating a business doing that. If you want to create a business doing anything, find your niche and do it, because people will pay for anything. And when I say that, especially services, now that you can't do a lot of things on your own, people are creating different services and different businesses to help people. Think about if Jeff Bezos wasn't going to do Amazon. Think about if he had naysayers. Everybody during this time is using Amazon. Are you kidding me? Amazon is my best friend. A few of my books are on Amazon, but not only that, I always use Amazon, and I'm sure you do too. So think about if he would have listened, or if Steve Jobs or anybody would have listened, all the stuff that we're using now. Think about it's Black History Month. Think about all the Black inventors. And I'm going to do a show next week about the Black inventors, but think about all the Black inventors. If they said, I might fall on my face, most of them are used a lot because of their creativity, their knowledge, their education, and the need to invent these things that they've done. Traffic lights on down to caller ID on down to, so many different, I can go on and on and on, but I'm going to save that for next week's show. But think about all the things that you use and all the things that you do. They've been invented by someone. Someone created these things. the elevator, black folks, the connecting ironing boards. We can go on and on and on and on. But think about the things that you use. If someone was afraid to fail, you might not have the technology that you have today. So you have to think about that. You have a legacy right in front of you, whatever you're looking at. If you're looking at blinds, if you're looking at a bed, if you're looking at a TV, if you're looking at someone decided to jump out there, and you can do that as well. Don't think that you can't do that based off of where you are, or where you came from, or what what you can do or what you can't do. You can do something. So it might not be in the field of eventing, but it might be event planning. Well, yeah, everybody has an event, so anybody can do it. No, maybe it's reserved for you to do it. So don't be afraid to fall on your face. That's a part of growth. Falling on your face just takes you closer to what you want to do. Right? Right. All right, so we're just going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back. And I'm talking about falling on your face in relationships. Everybody's done that. Be right back. Are you stuck in an unhappy relationship or a dead-end job? Are you having difficulty moving to the next level in life? Are you looking for love or romance? Are you looking to achieve and accomplish your goals? Are you looking to get more clarity on your vision? Do you struggle with self-esteem? Are you looking for insight, trying to figure out what you're trying to do with your life? These are some of the things I can help you with. Hi, my name is Kendell Lenice, and I'm a certified transformational life coach. For more information about my life coaching services, please visit livingtruelivingyou.com. Now back to the show. All right. Thank you for your patience. All right. So, talking about falling on your face, we've talked about going back to school. We've talked about business. We've talked about entrepreneurship. Now let's talk about love and relationships. How many people feel they have failed, fallen, or just stumbled in a relationship? I think everyone can say that at one point or another. And if you can't, then you're blessed. Some people don't love because they're afraid that it won't work out. I'm going to say that again. Some people won't love or be interested in romantic love because they feel that they will, quote unquote, fail at it and it won't work out. So some people will never get married. Some people will never get remarried. And some people don't even want no parts of love at all because they're like, it didn't work out for me before. It may not work out for me now because my mama and them, my daddy and them, my aunties, my uncles, none of them believed in love and none of their loves worked out. So mine won't either. That's not true. You're an individual and you shouldn't be afraid of love. We were created to love. We were created to be with someone and not to be alone. We weren't put on this earth solo. We were meant to have a quality, healthy relationship. So, of course, some relationships are just not that. Someone who's fighting, no intimacy, no trust. They don't spend no time together. They don't even meet anyone, either's needs, whether it's emotionally or physically. And there's infidelity. There's whatever, lying, cussing, fussing, cheating. I think I said that. But so they're like, you know what? All of those bad things can happen. So I'm not going to love because I heard this person talk about fighting, this person talking about lack of sex, this one talking about fussing and yelling, this one is talking about, oh, they're not emotionally available, men are not, women are not, so I'm just going to sit back and not love. That sounds foolish, doesn't it? Or you might have been married before and said, you know what, that love train ain't for me because this left me broken, bruised, hurt, and confused. No. Sometimes you got to fall on your face. Now, I'm not saying somebody pushing you on your face. I'm saying in relationships are mirrors. They show you the hard truths about who you are, and what you see in someone else that you may or may not like. It's probably because you're that person too. So it takes growth, it takes learning, it takes understanding, and it takes patience. And it's not always another person's fault. So if you just go out there and just freely love, then you might be surprised what you might receive. But some people are so afraid of not working out, or it's not, and I'm trying not to use the word fail, but not working out, that they won't even try, because they're saying, what if it doesn't work out? What if this happens? What if that happens? But yeah, that's any and everything. Things can happen, but don't deny yourself true love because you're afraid of falling on your face. Okay? And a lot of people do in relationships, in love. They're afraid to just be. And that goes with a lot of different things, whether it's in business, whether it's in love, entrepreneurship. People are afraid. Going back to school, people are afraid to fall on their face. And now with social media, everything has to look pretty, shined up, and wrapped in a bow, where nobody wants to look crazy. So they are afraid to do any and everything. And then the minute they try to do something, social media shuts them down. Nah, you can't do that. Fail. Nah, you can't do that. I'm going to throw egg on your face and I'm going to drag you on social media. So now it has people shook. Like, I'm not posting that. I'm not doing that because somebody's going to say. But don't be afraid to do that. Yeah, you can fall on your face. Yeah, you can post a picture and you get 2 likes. Don't allow that to stop you from posting a picture that you actually like of yourself. And this is to the millennials and the Generation X's and shoot, some older folks too. I've heard them say, as I mentor young people, I've heard them say, if no one likes my picture in 2.3 seconds, I'm taking the picture off. No, if you have that picture up all day and 3 people like it, you have to learn to say, so what? If that's a photo that you like, then leave it up there. But that's going to take a lot, because now we are in the age of likes and praise and, showing people that, hey, this is you're this because you have that. So many people are so afraid to just fall on their face like it's the end of the world. Everything now is so urgent. Everything is the end of the world. So many people are afraid to just live. But if this doesn't tell you anything in the pandemic to live, then I don't know what that's called. To live, then I don't know what are you going to do? Because many people are afraid of failing, and they're scared because they might reach their full potential. And that causes fear. That causes anxiety. So some people, and that sounds crazy, right? Or not. Some people don't want to throw themselves out there, not because they're afraid of falling, but they're afraid of achieving success and succeeding. Because then there's another level of responsibility that they may not be ready for. So sometimes people do not move forward in life, or try different things, or experience new levels because they're afraid that they just might succeed. When you're feeling afraid to fall, it's almost like a safety net, right? It's a safe place for people to be. That way they can't say, this hurt me and this bruised me. But it doesn't allow you to try new things. or dare to experience new challenges, or expose yourself in a way that you wouldn't have before to new adventures and experiences. It keeps you stuck, and you have to be able to conquer that fear, and understand how it limits you. And people don't realize that it limits you and it stops you from being the best person you can be, because you are your experiences. You are what you try. And how cool is that to say, you know what? Yeah, I tried to be a truck driver, but that wasn't for me. That's not a failure to say, oh, they thought I was going to be a truck driver, and now I came back with my head tucked between my legs, and it didn't work out because I didn't like to be on the road. Or you move across country or a different state, and people are like, yeah, he'll be back in a month. He ain't going to like that heat over there. He's not going to like those people over there. He's not going to do that. And then you come back, and now you're embarrassed because somebody is saying, I told you so. I knew you wouldn't like it. But what if you didn't get that experience? What if you were over there and you met the love of your life and you were only over there a month, and then you come back and people are saying, I knew you wouldn't last, but look what you gained. And that's how you have to look at it, because fear is a powerful force, but fear is also not real. It's false evidence of appearing real. False evidence of appearing real. So being afraid and being anxious, to fall can give you headaches. It can give you stress. It can give you worries, and it can allow you to be stuck. And I'm here to get you shifted and change your perspective and the way that you think about things, because perspective is a powerful word and it's a powerful action. When you think about your perspective, the old one, the glass is half full, the glass is half empty. How are you looking at this glass? Are you looking at this glass as full, or are you looking at it as almost empty? And that's really what it's like when you look at life. It's about perspective. How do you perceive this? How do you look at this thing, whatever it is that you're afraid to do because you're afraid of falling on your face? You've heard people say, do it scared. Do it anyway, because you'll have that experience under your belt to try and press forward to the next thing. So that will give you that little oomph that you need, that little push. If you said, you know what? I want to go out there and I want to look for another career. I've been a teacher for 20 years and now I would love to design fashion. But people are telling me that I need to stay in this secure spot of teaching. I need to retire and do that. And why would I want to ruin this teaching career to go do something that is unknown? But they don't know that you have been secretly drawing patterns and designs your whole life since you were 6 or 7. And this was a passion of yours as well as teaching. So that might be something that needs your heart, to move or to shift in order to do what you want to do in that way. So it doesn't mean that you have to quit teaching to go out there and jump and do that. You can do them together. Or if you wanted to quit, that's your business. You can do that as well. But don't allow anyone to stop you from doing what you want to do and putting their fears on you. And then now you're afraid to fall on your face. Well, what if they don't like my designs? Or, well, what if this only lasts for 10 minutes? Or what if, and you're talking yourself out of it before you even try. So even if you're doing it and you do all of these sketches and you have these designs and you sew these clothes and people don't like it and you feel that that's a fall on your face moment, so be it. It was an experience that will renew you and renew your faith in yourself and restore who you know you are, because you know you're a bad chick. You know you a bad dude, bad meaning good, obviously. So it's okay to go ahead and walk out on that ledge. And if you fall, it's okay. As long as you can get yourself back up, You've learned, you've grown, and now on to the next. Dust yourself off and begin again. It's okay. But nothing beats a failure but a try. That's one of my favorite sayings. No, I didn't quote that, but I've been quoting that since I was a teenager. That was even in my yearbook, the quote. In 1988, 89, it was in my yearbook. Nothing beats a failure but a try. And since then, and coming to this revelation as I'm talking to y'all right now, since then, I've been trying. And I've been succeeding. Some things ain't worked so good, but I keep on pushing through. Oh yeah, Kendell, you're not afraid to, if that don't work, you just keep pushing. Yup. People say that because that's what life is about. Now, my quote that I coined is, it's never too late to remix your life. And this applies here. This applies every place I go, every experience I have, every person I come in contact with. You know, somebody can learn from that at any stage, age, or phase. You just got to live your life and do it, and stop allowing your life to live you. I thank y'all so much for tuning in. Once again, do me a favor and subscribe, write a comment, rate it. Let me know what else you would like me to coach on. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to take, this is what I do. I'm here for you. So as a life coach and doing this podcast, whatever you want me to talk about, let me know. Also, do me a favor and follow me on all social media platforms at Kendell Lenice. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, you are a star, so don't allow anyone to dim your shine. Amen. Amen. Thank you for listening. God bless. Until next time. Peace.
Shine with Kendell Lenice. Real talk for real people. Let's shine together.
Are you stuck in an unhappy relationship or a dead-end job? Are you having difficulty moving to the next level in life? Are you looking for love or romance? Are you looking to achieve and accomplish your goals? Are you looking to get more clarity on your vision? Do you struggle with self-esteem? Are you looking for insight, trying to figure out what you're trying to do with your life? These are some of the things I can help you with. Hi, my name is Kendell Lenice, and I'm a certified transformational life coach. For more information about my life coaching services, please visit livingtruelivingyou.com. Now back to the show.